Alright, so from the last time we were down here at RHP, we've done quite a lot of work on Wolfie. As you can see, he's taking shape. We've got the complete motor in, it's fully plumbed, the fuel, the water, all the oil, power steering's all done. Yeah, we're ticking things off the list really. The last thing really to do on this car is the wiring, so it's going to go off the Tojo's race wire, and he'll do a full wire on the car, get it running. But yeah, we'll walk around the car and I'll show you what we've been doing. Since last time, we've actually got all four wheels on the car now, so it's actually rolling. We've got the three-way adjustable BC suspension, matched with the Weissfab angle kit. Yeah, so up front here we've got a tubular section. These cars take a lot of abuse, so we really build them to destroy them. So we want everything crushable, and so we make like a tubular front end that can take a lot of abuse. It's all detachable, front bar, this bar here, it just holds up the oil cooler for now. It was there for the radiator, but we've now gone and put the radiator in the back. So it's just there basically to hold the headlights. We've got some bonnet attachments here. There's quite a little bit of an empty hole here now. Originally there was a radiator here. Like I said, we put that in the back now, so we've opened up a lot of room. It's actually going to make it really good for maintenance at the track, nice and easy, taking out power steering pumps, alternators. Working on it's going to be a breeze. What we've got going on here is we've got water lines. So this is a water jacket. These lines go to the rear. We've got oil filter here, obviously the oil cooler. So we've got quite a lot of lines going on here, and it all goes to the back. So the oil lines go to the dry sump tank that's located in the cabin. The water lines go to the radiator in the back of the car. We've got some power steering stuff here as well. The power steering reservoir, which goes down into a filter and into the cooler and then into the rack. Down here we've got the dry sump pump that pretty much keeps these motors alive. These motors get a lot of abuse and we need consistent oil pressure, and that's pretty much what the dry sump pump does. It keeps the motor fully pressurized the whole time we're in drift. Yeah, so a standard motor with a standard wet sump design will probably hold between 5 and 7 litres, but with a dry sump tank now we can hold up to about 15 litres of oil, and more oil is better, more oil circulation, and keeps the oil temps down. So in the front here we've got 3-way adjustable BC suspension supplied by Darren Kelly. It's got the external reservoirs which we can play around with high and low speed rebound. A lot of adjustability in these shocks. Paired up with what everyone knows is the Weissfab. Great adjustability, heaps of lock, heaps of feeling in the steering. What else we got going on here? We've got sway bar. Some people run sway bars, some people don't. I prefer to run a sway bar. So in this car we've decided to go with a custom steering column. Gotten away with the factory S chassis column that we were running last year. Down the bottom there we've got a pedal box, and it's all done with custom braided lines to the back and to the front. We've got FDF handbrake here, of course a dog box as well. We've got the reservoirs for the pedal box down there. We've decided to keep it real clean and simple inside, so all the oil, the water and everything is pretty much under the car, so nothing goes inside the cabin anymore. The wiring's going to be nice and tucked up underneath the dash, so I just really wanted to get that clean, nice look. We've got the hydro handbrake here that goes into a separate caliper in the back, so we'll go to the back and have a look at that. Most drift cars these days have a dual caliper setup, which is a bit different to a road car. Normally road cars have one caliper. We have two, so we've got a separate one for the handbrake and one for the foot brake. Like I said, we've got the radiator was in the front, and now we've moved the radiator into the back. I didn't really do that for cooling purposes. I did it for mainly weight balance. We try and get these cars around a 50-50, as close to a 50-50 weight balance as we can. So this car was always a bit front heavy, so we've tried to move weight over to the rear, and we'll probably get it pretty bang on to that 50-50 by bringing the radiator to the rear and moving all the water lines to the rear. So we've got the custom Lexan window here cut out for the radiator. So this will allow air to get into the radiator. So we're going to have some big 14-inch spout fans at the back here. They'll do mainly all the cooling. We've got the overflow for the dry sump tank, which is just in here. This is a swirl pot and an overflow for the radiator. Just down here we've got the Davies Craig water pump. So this now runs a aftermarket external water pump. So we've taken the factory water pump off the front of the motor, and now we've got an external water pump to do all the moving of the water. So also at the back of the car we've got the fuel system. We've got a plastic fuel tank here, and matched with a surge tank and just a single fuel pump. Tried to make it nice and clean this year. We've moved it around a little bit, trying to move that weight around like I was talking to you guys about, and make it nice and clean, nice and easy to work on. This is another thing that we try and do, is we try and make these cars really, really easy to work on at the track. Another thing that we do to these cars is chop the back off. We want crumple zones in these cars, so essentially we can run the walls at our favourite concrete rounds such as Bay Park. We can go deep into the wall and not affect our line. So this is the reason why we cut the back of the cars off. There will be body panels at the end of the day, boot, bumper, over fenders, but at the moment we keep it like this just for the fab process. So now we're underneath the car. You can kind of get an understanding on the spaces now that I've tried to achieve by putting a custom floor and tunnel in. So we want to make these cars as simple as we can to work on, and one way of doing it is making the tunnels wider. For one, getting the gearbox out, but for two is running the lines down the sides of the tunnel. So these lines here are the oil lines that go up to the dry sump tank, and then on the other side we've got the water lines that run down to the radiator. These little lines here are just all the brake lines, so the entire car now is all braided. Really nice setup, pretty happy with that, all bulkheaded, all PTFE line. We will have an exhaust that comes around here too. We've got that off at the moment. It's getting welded up by Simon and MaxFab, but that's the tip of it there. So we've got twin 3-inch going into one 5. So that's quite unique about this car, is we've got a 5-inch exit. Makes it sound pretty cool. Coming into the back here, we've got a custom subframe done by RHP. We've got some big GDR axles here, and another unique thing about this car is that it doesn't run a Winters diff. It just runs the factory GT86 casing. So it's actually got Hilux internals in it, so Hilux crown and pinion. As you can see, we've got the full WiseFab catalogue under here. This is the dry sump pan, so it's quite a lot smaller than a traditional wet sump, because with a dry sump system you don't actually keep the oil in the pan in the motor, you keep all the oil in the tank. So this is a billet daily engineering dry sump system. So we've got the dry sump pump here. All these lines are all the oil lines that go to, one goes into the motor, the rest go to the dry sump tank located in the back of the car.
Mark your calendars. D1NZ 2025, a season you won't forget.